With every move you make as it approaches, the pulse rate rises. It's a special mix of tension and anticipation, the kind you only get before the test drives for a new season.
It's a reset button every year.
Can't wait to jump in the car.
Yeah, there's always a bit of nervous to see where we're going to be.
So we're back trying to search for perfection.
I'm looking forward to when that first green light comes on.
In Hockenheim, they're back on it again. Here, where the past meets the present.
Hockenheim is where I won my first title in 2022. I still remember the fireworks when I went across the line, and it gives me goosebumps every time.
It's something special if you go through the last corner in Hockenheim and see all the grandstands packed with people and fans.
It's a great venue for me, and every time I come here, I have a big smile on my face.
The new 2024 DTM season comes to life at this historic venue. We're heading for a season full of excitement, drama, and plenty of highlights.
The driver lineup this year in DTM is stronger than ever.
It's the top of the GT racing at the moment.
Sometimes you think you did a great job, you did a good lap, and then you're maybe P15 only.
I want to compete against the best, and I think I'm one of the best.
Every guy wants to prove that he's the worthy next champion.
This season will be remembered because it's a special one.
For me and for race fans all across the world, these three letters are iconic.
The passion for the DTM, you can really feel it as a driver.
I love this championship. For me, it's like a home. It's a huge privilege for all the drivers to be part of that championship.
For me, DTM is the place I want to be.
It's a special series that's based on this unique history. That's why a look back at 40 years of DTM history is essential before the next chapter is written. Racing is not just about top speed, but also longevity. And that's what the DTM stands for.
Congratulations, Gary Paffett!
Oh, thank you so much.
A motorsport series that never stands still.
This was the best racing I ever had in my life!
That constantly presents and produces new stars.
You are DTM champion. Oh my God, we did it!
Who've been making history for 40 years. 1984, the birth of a new championship at Zolder in Belgium. The first ever DTM race. And with Harold Gross in the BMW as the first winner.
There were almost 30 cars here in total, with a minimum of 8 to 9 manufacturers. That was a lot of fun, and things really got down to business here.
Born 40 years ago, developed and matured, an idea that became a success story.
I'm DTM champion. Oh my God!
And so the DTM has had many winners, but none of them knows as much about winning as this man.
Here comes your winner, Bernd Schneider.
Bernd Schneider, 43 race wins, and he won the title 5 times, the last one in 2006.
A fine guy, great human being, and a mega racing driver. I experienced some things with him. When it came down to it, he could drive over water with slicks.
But maybe there's still someone who could catch up with him. René Rast.
Are we champion or not?
We are champion, René.
Yeah!
He has 3 titles to his name, and he's not finished yet. But he currently shares second place in the all-time greatest list with Klaus Ludwig, who has also been at the top 3 times. Matthias Ekstrom, Gary Paffett, Timo Scheider, and Marco Wittmann have also left their mark with 2 titles each. And in one race, it wasn't a man who won, but this star driver.
That's a part of DTM history that's sure to come up again and again. The fact that the DTM has become a permanent fixture in the world of sport is also thanks to the people who brought it to life, both on and off the track. The DTM as a magnet. It attracted drivers almost magically, even from Formula 1. Mika Häkkinen, David Coulthard, Heinz-Harald Frentzen, John Alesi, Timo Glock, Robert Kubica, Alex Albon and many more, including the Schumacher brothers, Ralph and Michael, who, like many others, had to learn that the DTM has its very own laws.
The Schumacher Mercedes getting into Alfred Hager, the car spinning.
After the start in the first lap, it's happened, I overtake Alfred Hager, and I was in front of him in the Brems area.
And emotions have always been a great part of motorsport. As such a stupid thing to do, he drove into my car twice. Moments that we remember to this day.
Scheider into the back of Wickens, who hits their line. Off they go!
Situations that took our breath away.
Huge jump behind! Massive jump there, and fireball as well we've got!
Battles that we'll be raving about for many years to come.
Oh, there is contact between the two of them this time.
Rad an Rad, so soll das sein.
That's the fascination of the DTM, which has cast its spell over so many. And that includes some celebrities who love this special atmosphere, this unique mix.
We know that in DTM the driver quality is so high.
Motorsport made in Germany goes on a world tour, whether it's in Shanghai, Istanbul, Monza, Zandvoort or Spielberg. The DTM has fans everywhere, whether old or young, male or female. Motorsport a la DTM fascinates everyone. And it's been that way for 40 years now. Let's look forward to some more scintillating action and many new stories. But first of all, happy birthday, DTM. And now, ahead of the anniversary season, we meet the reigning champion at the Porsche Experience Centre in Hockenheim. It's a perfect match. After all, Preining and Porsche go hand in hand.
It's a relationship that obviously over the years has always gotten tighter and tighter. It's been 8 years now with Porsche for me. Obviously coming through the ranks of the junior program to now DTM is something special.
At the age of 25, he's right at the top of his game. In October 2023, the time had come. Thomas conquered the DTM Olympus in Hockenheim.
Every time I come here, it's special. I have so many good memories here, winning championships, winning races, having a good time, and I hope I can add to that.
And he's already made history. Being the first Porsche driver to take the championship was a milestone. And he was also the first Austrian to win the DTM title.
I'm really proud of that. There's been a lot of great Austrian drivers in DTM, of course. Proud to, wear my flag, and obviously in moments like this, when you achieve something of that magnitude, it's a very special feeling.
Thomas Preining has motorsport in his blood, and somehow you get the sense that his brand is in his heart.
This just also shows a little bit how kind of broad the spectrum is for Porsche in motorsport. They're all over the place, actually, historically. They're everywhere where you can win something. Porsche was there, and most likely they won it as well.
Cars are his speciality.
This is a piece, actually, from my private collection. They just don't know it yet, but in reality it's kind of mine, more or less.
An easygoing guy, but behind that is a lot of hard work. His team boss, Olaf Mantai, describes him as an intelligent driver who patiently waits for his chance. But what does Preining have to say about Preining?
I'm a very smooth driver, driving alone, smooth on the steering, smooth on throttle, which is very individual. You can achieve quick lap times no matter how you drive, but that's how I do it.
He intends to remain true to his approach in the future, and winning the title hasn't changed that.
Honestly, as a person, it hasn't changed me at all, I hope. Professionally, I think having proved that to myself, that I'm capable of that, I think this has sort of freed me of a lot of pressure that you put on yourself.
Less pressure with few changes. He may have a new teammate this season in Ian Nguyen,
but they've known each other well for years. And everything remains the same with his race number. Although he's entitled to the number 1 as champion, he's sticking with 91. And he doesn't even accept the role of the hunted.
I don't really believe in this stuff, that there's one guy who's being hunted by everybody. I mean, for me, everything is back to zero. We want to, of course, try to get back into the championship fight once again, and hopefully once again decide it for us. But this, at the end of the day, leaves us as a hunter too.
The champion who sees himself as a hunter. But Thomas Preining now knows exactly how to catch the real prize, as he showed everyone in 2023. The 2023 DTM season had it all, featuring 16 races at 8 different venues, with an impressive field of drivers that provided countless experiences. The DTM season made a big impression, with spectacular battles and with plenty of emotion.
I cannot believe it! You're a DTM winner!
The season was thrilling, extraordinary, and made history several times over, which is another reason why it'll be remembered as a very special one. It all started at the end of May in Oschersleben. For the first time in 8 years, the historical circuit was back on the race calendar. There couldn't have been a better place to open the new season. Countless fans came to see these high-performance beasts at the DTM season opener. Now, could Frank Pereira, the first pole sitter of the season, also take his first win?
We're about to go racing for the first time in 2023. DTM gets underway here at Oschersleben, and it's a good start for the pole sitter. Bortolotti's trying to follow him through and will. So from the front row of the grid, the Ferrari of Jack Aitken drops down to 3rd place here.
At 39 years of age, Pereira was the oldest driver in last year's field. With all of his experience, the rookie survived the start and went on to take a victory with a flawless race.
For me, it's, like I said the previous interview, it's been sometimes up and down in my career, and I still believe in myself, and I know I have a lot to give, and the age is just a number.
His first DTM race and his first time at the top of the DTM podium. The Frenchman also secured Lamborghini's first ever DTM victory. The second race of the season was about always being on the limit. For one former champion, however, the race ended early and in spectacular fashion.
Round goes René Rast once, twice into the gravel trap.
Safety
for the
car,
BMW. Yeah, that's going to be buried, isn't it? There's no way he's getting out of there. Is he missing the right rear?
He is. There's no wheel on it.
We don't know exactly why it happened. We haven't had a look on the car yet, but probably because of contact in the first lap.
There was no start-to-finish victory this time, because pole sitter Thomas Preining only finished 3rd, following a penalty. Instead, a DTM rookie was celebrating, even though Christian Engelhardt was already well over 30 years old.
It's an amazing feeling to win this weekend here in DTM. To win it in the first race weekend of the new DTM is truly special. I'm very, very happy for that. The team did just a tremendous job today.
And another newcomer was thrust straight into the limelight. Tim Heinemann secured 2nd place on both race days and left Oschersleben at the top of the standings.
It's a mega start, and to be honest, I'm speechless. To be a championship leader in DTM, I never dreamed of it.
Just under a month later, the DTM stopped off in the Dutch holiday paradise. Summer, sun, beach and sea. Oh, and much more action. The DTM was a guest at Zandvoort and caused quite a stir. Especially this man, Maro Engel. The Mercedes driver won by 6 seconds. It turned out to be the most dominant victory of the year.
Great day for us. It's quite the race that you wish for when you're starting on pole. You know, to be able to build a gap and have a quiet, calm race is obviously a dream.
But it wasn't just on the track that things got heated over the weekend. There was also plenty of action off the track.
It was a really cool experience. We arrived on the beach and the atmosphere on the beach is anyway very cool, and we love to come here to Zandvoort. And it was the first time that I drove a little bit different car, I would say, and I already rolled, but luckily I didn't hurt myself, and it was a cool start into the weekend.
A cool experience, especially for Ricardo Feller, and it brought good luck. Because what began with a crash landing ended with a perfect race. Feller dominated the second day of action. First he took pole, and then the race victory.
Many spectators, very good weather, lovely atmosphere. Really enjoyed driving again on this track, and with the win today, just a perfect day.
A successful conclusion to a highly entertaining DTM weekend. However, Sheldon van der Linde's season up to this point had been more of a washout for the defending champion. After dropping out of the season opener and then finishing 11th, he failed to make a breakthrough on the first race weekend. At least that changed with second place in Zandvoort. But the question remained, when would the champion return to the top of the podium? He provided the answer at the Norris Ring in front of a fantastic crowd of over 100,000 fans.
We go green. It is a brilliant start from Sheldon van der Linde. And Ken Guven trying to get to the inside of Thomas Preining. He was denied as Sheldon van der Linde has nailed the start perfectly.
With temperatures of up to 35 degrees Celsius and as high as 60 degrees Celsius inside the cockpit, the drivers were pushed to their limits. Maybe that's why Sheldon van der Linde's season finally caught fire. The first pole of 2023 was followed by his first win of the season.
Yes, baby! P1, P2. Amazing drive, mate. Yes!
You know that one mistake could end up in the wall, so it's very difficult to lead. You're always the first guy to arrive if there's dust on the track or whatever, so not easy, but amazing to win here.
The second race continued to fire up the fans. This time, however, the focus was on Thomas Preining. The championship leader dropped back from second to fourth at the start, but then began a race of recovery. He made up one position after another, before it came down to the decisive duel with race leader René Rast.
He's going to have to pass him on merit, so to speak. He does look quick, he goes to the inside, do they make contact? Onto the curb, and he muscles his way through.
Well, that was very physical and very determined.
It was a very hard one indeed. He came from very, very far back and braked very late and hit me middle of the corner. It's not what we agreed in driver's briefing, but yeah, it's still a good race for us. It was for sure a hard maneuver, but that's how it is.
Fighting a legend like René is amazing, and obviously to come out on top in such a fight is even better.
Preining extended his lead in the overall standings with his first win of the season. After a 4-week summer break, the next stop for the DTM was the Nürburgring. One driver in particular had set his hopes high here, one who had yet to finish on the podium. Mirko Bortolotti had been battling for the title for most of 2022, and now, at last, claimed his first pole of the season. And he defended his lead at the start. But then the Eifel lived up to its reputation. The rain came out of the blue, triggering one of the biggest accidents of the season.
It's on the way to turn 8, he goes through the huge jump behind. Massive crash.
For 2-3 seconds, I was not sure where I am. You know, I was turning and I'm like, I couldn't take the breath, you know, I think because of the impact, I couldn't take the breath for 10 seconds. Then later I started to take a breath, which made me more calm. Then I feel, okay, I'm healthy, I checked my fingers and everything, so I was fine.
Bortolotti stayed out of trouble and maintained his lead until the end.
It's going to be 7 races and 7 different winners in the championship. He takes the checkered flag, Bortolotti wins.
Yes, mate, we did it. Congrats, Mirko, to your first DTM victory.
This year the season started really in a tough way, especially on my end of the garage. So yeah, we never gave up, we kept working. I need to thank SSR Performance. They did a fantastic job. Everybody, Lamborghini, and just a special day for us.
Bortolotti was now second in the overall standings behind Thomas Preining. But just one day later, the smile was gone again. Due to technical problems, Bortolotti was reduced to the role of spectator. Instead, another Lamborghini driver stepped up to the plate. Maximilian Powell celebrated a surprise victory on his first DTM race weekend. The Dresden-born driver started back in 13th on the grid, but delivered a flawless performance under the most difficult conditions.
You're a DTM winner! I cannot believe it!
Winning in the DTM is something really, really special, and I think a lot of people would wish to do that. It was just amazing. I had a really good start, just got a nice spot. Very happy that we caught P1 after the pit stop, and yeah, now time to celebrate.
And he did, deservedly so. This DTM season was just great fun. The first 4 race weekends offered everything. Heated duels, lots of surprises, plenty of excitement, and a different winner every time. Unbelievable. And yet, one driver was the epitome of consistency. Austria's Thomas Preining led the ultra-competitive DTM drivers' field at the halfway point in the season.
For sure, it's nice in such a strong and competitive and super tight, compact field to be at the top.
His eyes were fixed on the future. The finish line's still a long way off. That's why he couldn't allow himself a moment to switch off.
I think my race engineer can also prove it. It doesn't matter if I'm home or on holidays or whatever. I call him at least once a day with new ideas and new things I would like to try, and how can we improve this? Is there maybe potential? And he's also fully committed. And you know, everybody has a personal life. They all have wives or kids or whatever, but they are still putting every minute they can into this project, which just makes me really proud to work with them. And I hope it will work until the end of the season.
He wanted to start the second half of the season with great self-confidence and at full throttle. But that was exactly what he failed to do. For the first time, he was seriously derailed. The only time Preining failed to finish on the podium on any race weekend last season was at the Lausitz Ring, a setback in the hunt for the title. Instead, the stage belonged to him. Jack Aitken became the 9th driver to secure victory in the 9th race of the season.
I love it. It was such a hard one, but in the end we didn't make any mistakes. The team did a mega strategy.
It was only on the second day of racing in Lausitz that a driver managed to clinch his second win of the season. Mirko Bortolotti knew how to handle the heat best. In contrast to the competition, he kept a cool head.
So there's contact. Third place with Clement Schmidt off, and also off from Pereira.
The day after finishing second, Bortolotti managed to produce a faultless race and underlined his title ambitions with this success.
I was ready to give everything and more, to take it home, to defend.
from everyone and everything, and that's what I managed to do. So I'm super proud with this performance, super proud with the race.
An important victory, which allowed him to take the overall championship lead. The DTM made its big comeback to the Saxon Ring in early September. Fans had to wait over 2 decades for it, but the wait was worth it. They were treated to a spectacular race weekend. The pole sitter succeeded on both days. Lukas Stolz won the race on Saturday, making him the 10th different driver of the season to win a race.
Yeah, it was just a solid race today. The team did an outstanding job. Car was a rocket, so yeah, good day.
Just like at the Lausitz Ring, Mirko Bortolotti dominated the race on Sunday. The Italian excelled once again and secured his 3rd victory of 2023. A big step towards the title, or so everybody thought.
Every point counts, every win counts, and I'm really proud for this 3rd victory of the season. And now we're looking forward to the last 4 rounds.
What nobody could have imagined at the time was that Mirko Bortolotti would only make it onto the podium once more within the final 4 races. Too few for the title. In the 2023 season, the races were shown in over 150 countries and on all 5 continents. Fans around the world were also eagerly awaiting the grand finale. But first, they experienced what was probably the best race of the season. At the second venue outside Germany, the DTM made a stop in Spielberg. Saturday's race was a rain-drenched thriller from start to finish, in which Riccardo Fella pulled off a legendary comeback. From 26th on the grid, he drove up to 3rd place, fighting a spectacular battle with René Rast along the way.
Here comes the BMW for the final spot on the podium. René Rast draws alongside, gets his nose in front and whips around the outside into turn 6. But Riccardo Fella is not going to let this lie. He comes back. The German driver is on the outside there. The Swiss driver is on the inside. The Audi versus the BMW. Whoa. Riccardo Fella gets the place back.
I think it was a bit of a mix of everything. We kept the car on track. We had the right strategy, we had the right perfect pit stop, and we also had a lot of luck today, and I think in the end it paid out, and I'm really, really happy for the team.
But the spoils went to someone else. Fella's teammate Kelvin van der Linde, victorious in the DTM for the first time since October 2021.
I mean, these races are crazy. We had a couple this year, I think, with Nürburgring as well, and I think everything has to go right. You know, you have to make the right calls, tire pressures, tire temperature, getting the slicks on at the right lap. But in the end, we made it work, and I'm very happy.
While Audi was able to celebrate 2 drivers on the podium on Saturday, BMW managed a double victory the following day. Sheldon van der Linde made it onto the podium for only the 4th time all season. It would also be his last. Over the course of 2023, the performance required to defend his title was simply not there. Nevertheless, this race was special for someone. After years in an Audi, René Rast celebrated his first victory after switching to BMW. An especially emotional moment.
Incredible day. After the 26th pole position, yeah, basically an incredible day. My first BMW victory as well. Didn't expect that this morning when I woke up, but yeah, it's just incredible. After so many years with a different manufacturer going to BMW, everything was new. I had to adapt to a new car, a new team, and now being here as a BMW race winner in DTM is something special.
The day was also pretty special for Thomas Preining. He finished 3rd, moving him back into the championship lead ahead of the grand finale in Hockenheim. In purely mathematical terms, 3 drivers were in a position to clinch the title before the decisive race weekend. Thomas Preining, Mirko Bortolotti and Riccardo Fella. While Preining dictated the first Hockenheim race after his 2nd pole of the season, Bortolotti and Fella were involved in what was probably the fight of the season.
three together as they work through turn 15 all over the curbs. Goes the Ferrari of Jack Aitken. Thou shalt not pass, says the British driver. But look at this fella at the inside of Bortolotti, and he gets ahead of him.
Vella finished fourth in the end, Bortolotti only fifth. Not enough to fight for the title. Preining, on the other hand, won, celebrating a 1-2 victory with teammate Dennis Olsen. This made Manthey Racing team champions. The driver's title was to follow a day later, as early as qualifying. Preining had a 27-point lead before that took place.
Can he get onto the front row? And that would give him the championship. Thomas Preining comes through and he goes fastest. Wow! Look at that. Dad Andy stares, cheers, lies lighter. And an SSR performance, they cannot believe it. Bortolotti put in this mega lap. Preining has got even quicker by 0.06 of a second, and Bortolotti heads into the pit lane. He's got nothing left. He's got nothing left, and that is it. Because Bortolotti's not going to improve now, and Preining, as long as he keeps that lap, he's going to be the champion.
I didn't even need the bank right yet. I was just enjoying it.
I'm just really happy to reward the team for the hard work, and also my whole family, especially my parents, for everything they've done. You know, my career was always a bit wild, a bit up and down and here and there, and it's not always easy, but in the end, luckily we got something out of it now.
Thomas did an amazing season, amazing quality this morning once again. So congrats to them for the title. Being here, fighting them until the last day makes me really proud.
Almost 90,000 fans witnessed Thomas Preining win the last race of the season, thus underlining that he was the deserved DTM champion, with a maximum haul of 56 points during the final weekend.
Honestly, it's fantastic. We definitely didn't expect it. Not even one win was expected. I mean, we would have just been happy to win the championship no matter how, but to win it in this fashion is for sure something unique and incredible.
Porsche were also manufacturers' champions. And even though the trophy went to Thomas Preining, the overall winners were the DTM fans worldwide, because they experienced one of the most spectacular and closely fought seasons of all time. With drivers who always push to the limit. And cars that make it possible.
When we are talking about DTM, we are also talking about GT3 cars, and I would like to explain you what a GT3 car is in detail. My name is Thomas Jäger and I'm Sporting Director for Mercedes-AMG in DTM. So this is our Mercedes-AMG GT3, this year driven by Maro Engel in DTM. In order to homologate a FIA GT3 car, it's necessary to have a road car as a base. 300 units have to be produced and also 20 race cars. So in DTM we have a wide variety of engines depending on the manufacturer. In our case we have a 6.3 V8 natural aspirated engine with round about 550 horsepower. In order to bring all the different manufacturers to the same lap time, it's very important to regulate the engine power, and we do this via an air restrictor, and the turbo cars regulate the turbo boost. Power is important, but aerodynamics is very important as well. So in order to have a great cornering performance, we need a lot of downforce, and therefore we have these flicks and also this large front splitter. So in FIA GT3 you have quite a lot of freedom regarding aerodynamics. The only thing which matters is that the car fits to this so-called performance window. The front diffuser is guiding the air underneath the car, and the rear diffuser is pulling the air out of the car that you create a lot of downforce. And the rear wing gives a lot of downforce on top. The rear wing has no special size. In the end, it's important that it's not wider than the car, and the whole aero concept has to fit in the FIA GT3 performance window. We've seen the exterior and now let's have a look inside. Here we have a lot of safety measures in a GT3 car. The roll cage, of course, and this carbon seat structure. On the passenger side, this fire extinguisher. So in motorsports, it's always about tires. In DTM, we're using Pirelli tires and we only have slick and wet. From this Mercedes-AMG GT3, we've built almost 300 race cars and they're racing all over the world and also in DTM.
No GT3 model, no tarmac, no curbs. And yet, Riccardo Feller and Kelvin van der Linde really stepped on the gas again at the end of March. In a snow challenge initiated by Abt, the two speed junkies competed against each other in Gurgel, Austria, in bobsleighs, electric snow carts. This increased the anticipation for the new season even more.
I think it's going to be one of the highlight years in DTM. Every year it's getting more and more difficult, more and more competitive, and I think, yeah, with an amazing program we have with Abt Sportsign, it's going to be very exciting.
After Riccardo Feller was able to steadily improve in his first two DTM years and battled for the title all throughout last year, the Swiss driver now wants to pull off the big coup.
Really looking forward to start again and yeah, to hopefully fight for the championship again.
Kelvin van der Linde has also experienced finishing third overall. That was in his first DTM season, but in the 2 seasons following that, he's only been able to score one more race win. By all accounts, that should change again this year.
We want to be up front and consistently. I think the key is consistently to fight at the front. Last year we showed the pace we had, but we were not consistent. We couldn't convert those results every weekend.
Consistency is key to making this year a successful one, especially for Abt. 2024 is the anniversary season of the most successful active DTM team.
25 years in DTM, it's a long timeline. Obviously a very successful, because obviously we are the most successful team in DTM.
Two iconic brands, Abt Sportsign and DTM, they simply belong together to the history of DTM.
Hopefully when it works out and we can win the championship, it would be even nicer to make it in such a special year.
Kelvin van der Linde won in Gurgel. The South African was surprisingly brilliant in the unfamiliar snow, and is therefore starting the new season with great self-confidence. The year 2024 marks a premiere in the DTM because one of the most historic motorsport manufacturers will be joining the grid. For the first time, the iconic British brand McLaren will be competing for an entire season. The Schubert Motorsport team is relying on the successful sports car and wants to make a big impression, and not just visually. So Clemens, let's get started.
Hello, my name is Clemens Schmid. You know me from the last 2 years in DTM. There was racing with Lamborghini, but for this year there's a big changes going on. New car, new team boss. Let's go to the main actor. Here we have Miss Sophie, my new race car for this season, McLaren 720S GT3 Evo. What's really special about this car, it's the only GT3 car in the whole field with a full carbon chassis. The driver is sitting in a box like a F1 driver. We have cool wing doors, they are opening like this. The main thing about the car is its engine down here. We have a 4-liter V8 twin-turbo engine, which in the road car develops 720 horsepower, so we have by far the strongest engine. And to compete in DTM, it will be reduced to about 560 horsepower that we have with the BOP and even level of engines. Now to my teammate, Bender. What's your expectation as the youngest driver of DTM 24?
Yeah, feels not so bad to be the youngest driver here. Super hard challenge for me, driving against these hard drivers.
Who's your favorite teammate? Wrong answers will end in a slap in the face.
Yeah, definitely not you. No, just a joke. Just a joke. No, Clemens is a perfect teammate for me. A lot of experience in DTM, so yeah, I think he's a perfect teammate for me to learn a lot.
And now let's go backstage. And here is also our team boss, Rainer Dörr. What was the part which convinced you to start entering a team in DTM?
After 25 years, motorsport was the best time to go in the best series in the world.
And now see you on track for this year's 24 DTM season.
This garage is also full of anticipation because real experts are at work here, and there are 3 of them.
This is Schubert Motorsport. I'm Sheldon van der Linde, 2022 DTM champion.
Hi, I'm Marco Wittmann. I'm 2 times DTM champion.
Hi, I'm René Rast, 3 times DTM champion, and now we're one team.
A trio of champions.
The combination is very competitive. We have 3 DTM champions in one team. I'm not sure if that ever existed in DTM before.
Marco, you're next.
I think the combination is great. I mean, to have 6 titles in one team is just amazing. I think it can give us a big boost.
Next, please.
I'm the youngest. They have a lot more experience than me. I only have 1 of them, so I have a bit of catching up to do for sure.
3 guys, 3 characters. Sheldon van der Linde, the first DTM champion from South Africa.
Sheldon is a young, talented driver, very fast, a cool guy, funny, sometimes a bit late, at least at the meetings.
René Rast, the man with the most titles on the 2024 grid.
Me and René already know each other since a while. He drove my brother in GT Masters in 2014. I think they won the championship together, so there's a lot of history with me and René.
Marco Wittmann, new to the team, but the double champion has been in the DTM since 2013.
I mean, Marco is a very fast, competitive driver. He won 2 titles already. Always in every car, he's one of the fastest drivers, so yeah, and a nice guy as well.
Looking forward to having Marco in the team this year as well. Myself and René were there together last year, so we have 1 more Eisen im Feuer.
By the way, having plenty of irons in the fire ought to mean there are more chances of winning. But who's the fastest now?
Whoever wins at the end.
We will see at the track.
I'll let you decide.
In other words, who's the strongest?
Me, look at my muscles. It's crazy.
Okay, now you have to prove, mate.
Should I do push-ups?
No, pull-ups.
If I can do 10, I'll be happy.
If he says 10, it's 10.
Should I go for it?
Fully hang, huh? Don't forget. Hang, 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 hey, Arms durch. Was ist das?
Ja, er berührt den Boden ja schon. Er hat den Boden berührt.
6, 7. Wait, I'm swinging.
What is that?
8.
7.
No, that was 8. I counted 8.
6.5.
This was actually more cheating than proper pull-ups.
Then show us what you've got, Marco.
Drei, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
At least I bet you. I did
No, guys, you were not even over the bar with the last one.
Of course.
That was both 7, no?
It was 8.
Who's the judge? We need a judge here at least.
Anyway, René does 15 and he won.
Yes. Go, René.
Easy. Easy for him, look.
He's even smiling. It's incredible. That's an athlete, guys.
Yeah, easy for him. You can stop, you are already ahead of us.
But you never do it in the gym, huh? Never. You look so experienced, it's crazy.
You really don't need a referee for this victory by René Rast.
I mean, I like to be in the gym here and there.
Here and there, not every day, here and there.
Back to motorsport, champions.
We all want to win the title again. We all know how it should be done, or we've done it before.
I think we are all hungry. We can have a good season together because we can help each other.
So I think it's a big advantage to have 3 drivers in one team.
Despite all the harmony in the team, in the end, only one can be the best, just like with the pull-ups. We'll have to wait and see who flexes their muscles out on track.
Are you ready?
Here they are then, the stars of the 2024 season.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Good-looking, cheerful and charming. And above all, really fast. The title race could be even tighter with this driver lineup.
For me, it's one of the strongest drivers lineup we had since years. Making predictions for this year, I think it's not possible. Everybody can win.
And yet, there are a few drivers who are worth taking a closer look at.
The DTM
season 2024. Let's start the hunt for the title.
and action.
Above all, he wants to go for it again. Mirko Bortolotti. He'll be hoping it's third time lucky. The Italian wants to finally make it up to the last step, to the title.
Ready, steady, go.
After finishing second last year, fighting until the last day, it's clear that the aim is always to try and compete for the championship. But we also know how competitive DTM is.
This is exactly why Bortolotti now has renowned support in the team, with Nicky Thiem, the son of former DTM champion Kurt Thiem.
For many people, this is a race series, but for me, it's my whole childhood, basically. I grew up with the DTM and, yeah, proud to be sitting here and doing a whole season.
It's a great thing to have him as a teammate. I'm really looking forward to work together with him.
Together, they want to deliver the right performance on a recurring basis in SSR performance style. But so do the other Lamborghini representatives. With a total of 5 drivers, the traditional Italian brand has the most cars on the grid. And driving one of them is Maximilian Powell, the surprise winner at the Nürburgring last season.
I didn't have a lot of chances to show my potential, and in that moment everything worked together and I showed my potential.
Realising their potential when it counts. That's what it's all about for the Emil Frey racing team. With Jack Aitken and Thierry Vermeulen, the lineup is the same as in 2023. But instead of midfield, this time they want to be at the front.
Who will be the champion? Hopefully me. First of all, it's very good to be in a good physical shape. I like kickboxing. I'm not so good, so maybe not career-wise, but I think it's always good to take out frustration, to stay sharp.
Concentration is key to success.
We need to maximise our bad weekends more. You know, when we have a good weekend, we already saw that we can win. But when you have a bad weekend, you also need to keep scoring points. And last year, we were not so good at that.
This is exactly what Mercedes AMG is all about after a rather disappointing season overall.
New season, new chance. But still is a little bit frustrating that the best Merc finished in P6. So we try to get better, all of us this year.
It's a difficult task because in DTM winning a race is really tough. Competition is really good, great teams, manufacturers and drivers.
In 2024 in particular, it will be important to demonstrate an increase in performance. The DTM will not be the only one celebrating an anniversary. Mercedes AMG will too.
Mercedes is the most successful brand in DTM. Back to the first race, which was in 1894. Obviously, you know, a lot of great successes have been achieved along the way. So for me, it's great to be able to carry this livery, which I also think just looks fantastic. To carry that livery all the way through the year and hopefully add more success to the heritage.
As different as their backgrounds may be, they all have the same motivation.
You want my title? Challenge me.
Many have tried, but in 40 years, only the very best have become champions. The hunt for the title takes centre stage. And yet, being part of this unique racing series is something very special, never more so than in this anniversary season.
I think the DTM has played a huge part of my life and probably the lives of most drivers.
When I was a young kid, I was obviously watching DTM and it was my goal to be there.
Obviously, I'm only 24, so I'm half as young as what the championship is now. It's a huge privilege to be here this year as the class of 2024.
40 years of DTM. Yeah, what an honor to be a part of this.
But to make this year not only historic, but also magical, we need more.
I think it's also a bit down to us drivers to put a good show for the fans, for the spectators.
The crowd that comes every weekend, you know, we never have an empty grandstand in DTM. So it creates a very special atmosphere.
Yeah, looking forward to see some of the hopefully older fans still coming out here, and then some of the newer generation that we can hopefully inspire.
The aim is to inspire and excite the fans. This year, there will be plenty on offer to achieve this, including off the track.
I think we will have very exciting races. We have also for our fans our fan zone again. We will continue our 40th birthday over all our events with the old cars, old drivers, autograph sessions with them. I think it's worth coming to DTM.
And if all that's not enough, there is one point that should not be forgotten.
For sure, it's always good to be in a celebration year because the end of season party is most of the time bigger. So we're looking forward to that.
The anticipation for the new season is enormous. The hunt for the title kicks off in Oschersleben at the end of April, before the trophy is presented here 6 months later. And the DTM entourage returns to this historic venue to celebrate a milestone year. So gentlemen, now is your time.
It's a special season. We need a special gift.
Come on, boys.
Wollt's mir jetzt alle singen lassen, oder was?
A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday, dear DTM. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip hooray.
Alles Gute, DTM.
Tillykke med fødselsdagen, DTM.
Gefeliciteerd, DTM.
Doğum günün kutlu olsun DTM.
Tanti auguri di buon compleanno DTM.